Figs. Alright guys, I'm here with the beautiful...
You're here with the beautiful Figs.
Figs, and I want to know what got you into a podcast and what made you want to do your podcast?
Right, so it's a funny old story. I'll tell you it. So basically, I used to have a friend. Well, she's still my friend, and she wanted to set up a podcast with me. She met me and she said, me and you should do a podcast together. And I was like, podcast? Because back in my day, a podcast you could only listen to. But now you can watch them, So I was like, okay. So she introduced me to the producer guy, blah, blah, blah. And one day me and her were on the way to do our first show, and she asked me to borrow a lipstick from my purse. So I borrowed her my lipstick, but really it was a glue stick, and now she can't talk.
Okay. And is there any challenges that you find for making a podcast? Like, what is your biggest challenge?
The main challenge of making a podcast is what to talk about. So when you have a subject, you have to stick to it. And sometimes you get carried away and you can just go off into the realm. So focus is very important when you're talking to people, because what I've realised is people are captured by what I say. And if I go off focus, then so do they.
Sure.
So I don't want to be leading people down the wrong road. So being an influence is the most challenging thing about podcasting.
And what is your podcast about?
Well, I can make a show about anything.
Yes.
So, and I mean that. So you could have a black toe. I'll make a show about that. You could, like for instance, today we spoke with Pubina, and I wanted to know why different cultures mix, what attracts people to different cultures. I've made a show about why people change their names, why people move abroad, why people take drugs, why people gamble. During the week, something will inspire me. Somebody will ask me a question. I think, do you know what? I'm going to make a show about that.
Right.
And that's how my shows come about. And I always use real people, not professionals. Real people.
And what makes you use real people? Why?
Because I only want the right people, not the best people. Because the right people know the right thing. Whereas the best people learn it.
You're right,
And I'm not in it. I'm not on the learning thing. I need experience. And obviously if you've incorporated that with your learning, then that's good. But if you're just coming with a learning thing, or I read this in a book so I know it, they ain't going to cut it with me.
You're right. Experience is important.
Absolutely.
So
it means everything.
What's your advice would you give to the upcoming youth today that want to be creatives and kind of find it struggling because of images, social media, and all those kind of things? So what would you give, what is your advice?
Okay, so what I would tell everybody growing up now, be yourself. Be true to yourself. Make your own decisions, whether they're good or bad, Do your best to think about what you do before you do it. It's really, really important. The second thought, because the first one is more impulsive, and then if you take a step back, even if it's for 2 seconds, you'll find that your view might change, and that you might be making a better decision that could lead you on a better path. Because what you don't want to do is make the wrong decision and lose any form of your liberty, your freedom to speak, to be visible, to be present. You don't want to lose that. So always be true to yourself, and do not ever forget to have the second thought. Very important. Give yourself that time. Sometimes it could take a couple of days even. Give yourself that time.
No, you're right. And you're an independent podcaster as well.
I'm an independent podcaster.
Are you going to remain independent?
I'm definitely going to remain independent. I'm Figs. I'm going to tell you guys now. It's a bit profound, but it means fuck it. I'm going solo.
Yeah, I love that. And where can they find you?
You can find me at Figs Podcast on TikTok, F it, I'm going solo on Facebook, at Figs Pod on Instagram, and I'm just everywhere. I'm about. You can feel me. That's a great rap, but I'm gonna follow you. Boom. Easy.